Say hi, Sirius. Mom, I'm sleeping. Go away. So, something I've been wanting to do for a while is make like a origin story video for each of my pets. So, I'm going to tell you guys how I got Sirius today. Isn't that right, buddy? Yeah, I was sleeping, Mom. He's a good boy. I'll be attempting to throw in pictures when I can. We were living in our, let me think, third apartment, which is more like a duplex? I don't know. I was sitting outside on the front porch with the neighbors. We were watching the rain. Shane was there too. And there were a good number of stray cats in the neighborhood. And, you know, I'd gotten friendly with them. They all had nicknames, and we'd feed them once in a while. But on this night, I saw this guy for the very first time. He kind of walked over from one side of the porch and looked at me and jumped into my lap. And then he curled into a ball and sat there and started purring. And as soon as he sat down, I went, oh shit. For two reasons. One, I've always wanted a black cat. And two, we could not have another cat at that time. And so I let him sit with me for a little while because it's a sleepy boy. Because, you know, I was used to doing that with the other strays anyway. And I figured this will just be another stray that I kind of keep an eye on. But then I noticed he had a collar. I still have his collar, actually. It was so tiny. You were so small. I think he was like between 4 and 6 months old when we found him. I don't know. But, so the days passed. I went inside. And every now and then I'd kind of poke my head out and he'd be sitting on the porch. And so I'd go and sit with him for a little while. And I think it was only like 2 or 3 days after he first sat with me. It was raining again. And I heard him crying at the door. And I talked to Shane about it for a while. This was back in 2015. I remember because this cat was the only good thing to happen that year. 2015 was shit. Anyway, talked to Shane about it for a long time, and I said, you know, if we can't, I want to save this cat, because the neighborhood we lived in was full of idiots, and it was near Halloween, and I didn't want somebody to do something unspeakable to him. And so I told Shane, I'm like, I'm gonna take him in and see if the others will get along with him. Well, at first they didn't. Loki and Mulan actually hid on top of the fridge for 3 days when I first brought him inside. And I was so heartbroken because that meant we couldn't keep him. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of had a bratty fit over it. And so until we could find him a place, we moved him into our bedroom. And I made flyers. I spoke to local rescues and foster homes. I did everything I could, short of walking up to someone and going, hey, have a cat, to find him a home. And nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted him. This poor abandoned little kitty who was so sweet. You know, while he was in our room, and I wasn't working at the time, I'd go in and I'd sit with him for, you know, a couple hours at a time. I'd read or I'd watch Vines or something, and he would curl up in my lap, like he always does, because he's such a good boy. And I had made the decision to, I don't remember, we'd gotten him fixed at some point at this time. And I'd made the decision to surrender him to the Humane Society in Savannah. I didn't want to do it, but I had no other options, because, again, we really couldn't keep him if the other two wanted nothing to do with him. So we just kept him in the bedroom until one day I went from the bedroom to the office and I didn't close the door behind me in time. And he got out and he followed me to the office. When that happened, I thought, well, let's see what happens. I let him, kind of wander around. And the others hissed at him, but they didn't run and hide like they did before. And so I thought, oh my God, okay, maybe this will work. Maybe this can be a thing. And, throughout the days that followed, I would let him out of the room for a little bit longer every time. And then what really got me, or what really changed our minds, because Shane was still we gotta, I like him too, but we can't keep this cat. Until one day, he was out and I was sitting on the couch and Mulan was at my feet and he came and sat right next to her. I actually have a picture of it. He came and sat right next to her and she didn't hiss at him. She didn't try to chase him off. She didn't do anything. And I was so happy, so excited. I could have cried. I was so happy. And that's when Shane was like, okay, I guess we'll keep the cat. And I was very happy. He's such a good boy. Now, one thing that makes me really angry, not exactly about him, but about his story, is the fact that he was still not a little kitten, but he was a kitten. And he had a collar. Granted, there was no tag on it, but he had a collar, which means that at some point a human being, had to put that collar on him. Which leads me to believe that he was someone's pet who they thought was going to get too big or they didn't want anymore, and so they abandoned him and just left him. And that makes me very angry that someone would abandon this sweet child. He's so sweet. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they did, because if they hadn't, I wouldn't have him. And he's such a good boy. I'm going to add in some different pictures and clips of stuff that he's done. He chases his tail. I don't know if I have a clip of that, but he'll chase his tail sometimes. He likes to tuck himself up under the blankets with me when I'm sleeping. In fact, we took a nap like that today. It's one of my favorite things to do, is take a nap with my kitty. And he's just a good boy. He's a big chunk right now, but he's a good boy. He doesn't fight. He doesn't, break things. He doesn't try to, surprise Mulan with anything like Loki does, or used to. The only kind of problem, air quotes, that we have with Sirius is he really likes bread. Like, if we leave a bag of hamburger buns out on the counter, the next morning, they will be chewed up, because he likes bread. But beyond that, he's a good boy, and I love him very much. So I'm outside on the new porch using my vape. Sirius does not like it when I leave the house. Watch. Sirius! He does this whenever I go to work. It makes me not want to leave. He's so cute. Alright, buddy, I'll come inside. Sirius. Sirius. Say hi, handsome. Say hi. He's a good boy. He is not amused with me. So yeah, thanks for watching this if you did. And I'll see you later on.